Following Netflix's announcement that the 50 Cent's documentary on Diddy and all of his collaborators would be published next week, Jay-Z is frantically trying to stay out of Diddy's most recent criminal inquiry. This documentary purports to expose Jay-Z and provide video proof of his participation. Meanwhile, video of Diddy inside a federal jail has just surfaced due to leaks. The date of 50 Cent's Diddy documentary's release has been made public. Combs, Sean. On December 2nd, The Reckoning will be available on Netflix.
Has revealed the release date for his Diddy documentary. Sean Combs' The Reckoning is hitting Netflix on December 2nd. 50 Cent captioned it, "They said I was capping. What happened?" And it's been so long at this point, I thought maybe he was really just joking and this documentary wasn't happening, but obviously I was wrong. Because this is actually official. Not only is 50 Cent just posting this, so he's not trolling, it's being confirmed by multiple media outlets. And I have a feeling right now Diddy is sweating about what 50 Cent is about to put in this documentary. You know, 50 Cent's connection when it came to the Diddy trial. Not only that, we cannot forget during this Diddy trial, it was alleged that Diddy wanted to off 50 Cent. 50 Cent stays trolling Diddy, so I am afraid that he is probably about to drag Diddy for filth in this documentary. It's about to be so bad. This is going to be a documentary that I'm going to watch just because I want to see how 50 Cent actually puts together this documentary.
50 Cent said shortly after Diddy's arrest in September 2024 that he was collaborating with Netflix to produce a documentary that will expose some of Diddy's offenses that not even the authorities were aware of. Over the last 20 years, 50 personally gathered the proof for these crimes. He was apparently preparing to reveal the mastermind and knew everyone he was associated with.
Speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations, I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else, but I did feel uncomfortable with the way he would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like, when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them, and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z? That
was interesting. When I was saying things not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going with, like, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. You know, so I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally is that those accusations are crazy.
According to 50, his documentary series would concentrate on the specifics of Diddy's illegal business, rather than any of the current rumors. A fresh criminal investigation of Diddy is allegedly the result of the evidence presented in this documentary series.
Sean Combs now facing new allegations, this time from a man in Florida. According to ABC News, investigators in LA received a report from a police department in Florida where the alleged victim lives, and now they are working on the case. Eyewitness News anchor Mike Marza in the newsroom with the very latest details. Mike.
Well, David, here's what we know. The new allegations of sexual assault against Sean Diddy Combs come from a music producer who went to police in Florida, but the alleged crimes happened in Los Angeles. Jonathan Hay is his name. That's the person who filed the complaint, and he's one of the John Does that filed a civil lawsuit against Combs in July. The first alleged incident was in September of 2020 in LA. Hay alleging that Combs performed sex acts in front of him and asked for oral sex. In a second incident, in 2021, Hay claims that C.J. Wallace, the son of the rapper Notorious B.I.G., took him to a location where 2 men put something over his head, he says, before Combs forced himself on Hay several times. Combs is currently serving out a sentence in Fort Dix, New Jersey, following his conviction earlier this year on 2 prostitution-related charges. Combs' representatives have not yet responded to this lawsuit. David?
Thank you, Mike.
Among the more than 100 civil actions brought against Diddy were these fresh accusations. Remember that Diddy and Jay-Z might spend the rest of their life behind bars due to a single criminal inquiry. Diddy's oldest pal is Jay. Furthermore, according to Diddy, only Jay-Z is aware of all of his secrets. How likely is it that one of the 100 witnesses pursuing Diddy will also expose Jay-Z?
There's a lot of negative stuff around Jay-Z right now, which is clearly damaging to him.
Yeah, and I think there's like a famous quote from someone who was acquitted, and he said, all right, where do I go to get my reputation back?
Right.
I mean, social media was a light. Beyonce's next, Jay-Z's next, all the people in the inner circle is next.
Yeah, and the problem is there are just so many pictures of the two of them partying together, and he clearly was at a lot of Diddy parties.
How powerful was Jay-Z when you were doing business with him? Was he already a power player where if he wanted to ruin someone's life or make somebody a star, he could do it?
I met Jay-Z and I signed to Rock Nation. I didn't want to drip myself in blood and cover myself and swim in goop, in black goop, and fucking like wear devil horns to fucking sell a record. Fuck that. Or be a witch, or be that, all of that. Fuck all of them.
In response to the new Netflix 2 announcement, King Academics discussed how 50 has a ton of proof against Diddy and his accomplices. The fact that Diddy was arrested on RICO's accusations is something that most people are now overlooking. Furthermore, no one else was found guilty of transporting adult laborers, notwithstanding his conviction. How on earth is it possible?
50, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I thought he was trolling, because I do think 50 is a guy to kick you when you're down, and Diddy did seem like he was down for a long time. Pause. And I thought 50 was just trying to kick his back in. It was clear that 50 wanted him to go to jail for a lengthy time, maybe for the rest of his life. And I've said personally, I really think that 50 wanted him to go to jail because he was fucking his baby moms. You get what I'm saying? And that's what that is. However, it looks like 50 wasn't playing around when he had announced from back in the day that, he was going to create at that time he called it the Diddy Do It doc. And he said he was going to do it and, oh pun intended, he said he was going to do the doc and put it out with Netflix. And it appears that he wasn't capping. Netflix has actually put out a press release. Variety and other outlets picked it up. And they have announced that there is a release date, December 2nd, which is the Netflix documentary series from the executive producer, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. And it is called Sean Combs' The Reckoning. It's going to only be on Netflix. And yes, 50 is the executive producer. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a huge power move by 50. Now, I love 50, so we're not going to get into certain stuff, but 50 doesn't have the cleanest history. Sometimes I feel like when they go for these type of docs, the Surviving R. Kellys, they go for the most woke person to present the doc because you kind of need somebody to soapbox. With all due respect, I'm not saying 50 had freak offs and shit like that, but 50 is 50 Cent, bro. You know what I mean? It's like 50 Cent isn't the most model human being. Not saying he's been accused or he does stuff that Diddy does, but 50 is 50.
We are certain that a prominent member of the business was seen on Diddy's freak-off videos, but he was never found guilty. It is becoming more obvious that Jay-Z was the guy who was seen with Diddy as more and more proof against Diddy emerges. Additionally, it has been alleged that Diddy is completely collaborating with the federal authorities and is prepared to turn on whomever they choose.
Diddy always been the type of individual that want to have ups on the next person no matter what they was doing. He did the stuff to Ja Rule so he could go after Jay-Z. They not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. Until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. Hey, buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. 250 cameras all over the house? Somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. When you that powerful, you didn't get that powerful without having 1 or 2 or maybe 3 ups on somebody.
So now we have 2 people come out saying that Diddy was talking to the feds. Do you think that's true?
Whether it's true or not, and he might have been cooperative in some way, shape, or form, you don't get away with human trafficking unless you give up John Gotti or something like that, and that's not what happened here. I can tell you, Jesse, that this investigation's been going on for a long time, very closely held by HSI, so much so that even some of the agents on the raid a week ago today didn't know whose house they were raiding until they got there. That's how closely held this investigation.
Wow, because there could have been a tip.
Absolutely.
And there are allegations that he was paying law enforcement through his chief of security, which also happened to be Michael Jackson's chief of security.
I don't know if I buy into that. You know, people in Diddy's situation like to have those involved in law enforcement close to them. But that doesn't mean they're taking payoffs. That doesn't mean they're doing big favors. They like that closeness. It's just like how Diddy was able to court Diageo or Estee Lauder. He was very successful in doing that, and that made him a lot of money and gave him credibility outside the hip-hop rap world. And that's what he was trying to do here, a lot like what Epstein did with very powerful political and business.
This has also been verified by Gene Deal. He personally witnessed it. Diddy was employed by the federal authorities as a confidential informant. The fact that Diddy was a snitch gave him confidence. His might did not make him untouchable. Because of his utility, he was untouchable. The authorities had no motive to pursue Diddy as long as he continued to provide information. And now, they're pursuing Jay-Z with him.
That's a confidential informant. They'll let you do crimes, long as you don't do no and stuff like that. They'll let you go around and pay you to protect him. You understand? To protect him. We had a lot of people on the payroll when we was doing security. Somebody might have this first 10 hours, that 10 hours, or whatever. He was paying law enforcement. He had a budget for law enforcement. Now, if something goes wrong, those people got friends in certain places. Then plus he tells his handler, yo, can you make this go away for me? I'll give you this and that. Now, that could be a lot of speculations or whatever like that. But why would you have or be working for an FBI agent if you're not an informant? Why? So when you got that kind of money, you could hire people to make a lot of things go away for you. Like you hire lawyers. Those lawyers have police officers and people working for them, and investigators. Those investigators were former officers. So all of them in the backyard in Diddy bed together.
It's possible that Diddy's plan to escape by turning on those close to him is succeeding. According to a recent TMZ rumor, Diddy may be released from jail as early as December if a presidential pardon is obtained for him.
Diddy could be a free man by the end of this week. We broke a story last night that Donald Trump is seriously considering commuting his sentence. And there has been a lot of fallout with our story.
By the way, commuting his sentence before he's even in a prison.
Right.
He's still at Brooklyn MDC waiting to find out which prison he's going to. But this is something that President Trump is considering. And the fact that he's considering it is causing a bit of an internal war at the White House, because not everybody in the administration thinks this is a good idea.
So we are told this, and this is coming from somebody high up in the White House. We broke that story, incidentally, that right after the sentencing, his legal team, Diddy's legal team, got in touch with somebody who had the president's ear, and that the president was looking at the paperwork.
And the president acknowledged that
like 2 days later.
Yeah, in the Oval Office.
2 days later. Yeah. So we now know that Trump is considering, we're told that he's kind of waffling, he's going back and forth on this, but there are staffers in the White House telling him, don't do it.
50 Ametipater will stop at nothing to ensure that Diddy and Jay-Z are imprisoned. 50-50. said that he would personally contact President Trump and request that he not grant Diddy a pardon after learning that Diddy intended to utilize a presidential pardon in an attempt to flee. But as it happens, 50 didn't have to call anybody. Diddy was discovered drinking while incarcerated less than a week after it was revealed that he would get a pardon. Diddy may possibly get an additional year in prison since this is a very severe infraction.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs facing more time behind bars. His release date pushed back to June of 2028 instead of May of that same year. The news coming after reports of Combs drinking in prison, something he denies, after he was accepted into a rehab program in prison that could have reduced his sentence by up to a year. He's also been accused of making a prohibited three-way phone call from prison. Here to make sense of it all, NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas and defense attorney and friend to Top Story, Sarah Azari. Guys, thanks so much for being here, both of you. So, Chloe, I'm going to start with you. I'm being told you spoke to Combs' rep earlier. What did you learn about this issue?
Sure. So, Combs' representative, Judah Engelmeyer, telling me by phone earlier today, Tom, that yes, a three-way call was made between one of Combs' lawyers, who did bring in another person on that call with Combs while he has been at Fort Dix, but that there was nothing improper about it. But again, that is not something that you were supposed to do at all. So those lawyers should have known better. As for drinking, he doubled down and said that Combs was not drinking and that in fact he's been admitted into this very specialized rehab program that Fort Dix offers is actually going to potentially lower his sentence.
Yeah.
He could be released earlier because of that. So they're saying he's done nothing wrong and that any reports that he has been drinking is completely not true.
Sean Diddy Combs is setting the record straight about his life behind bars, following a report that said the rap mogul, who is serving a 4-year sentence for 2 prostitution-related convictions, was caught drinking homemade alcohol in prison. His spokesperson emphatically denies the allegation, telling People magazine in a statement published November 9th, there have been several false and reckless reports circulating about Mr. Combs. He has not violated any prison rules. His sobriety and self-discipline are priorities, and he is taking them seriously. The 56-year-old was recently transferred to a low-security correctional facility in New Jersey after spending over a year at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. At the new institution, he was alleged to have created a mixture of Fanta, sugar, and apples, which ferments into alcohol after 2 weeks, TMZ reported. The spokesperson continues, this is only his first week at FCI Fort Dix, and unfortunately, rumors will surface throughout his time there. We ask the public and press to give him the benefit of the doubt, the privacy to focus on his personal growth, and the grace to move forward in peace.
Videos of Diddy incarcerated also began to surface at the same period. Unbelievably, Diddy seemed to be very content. Does this appear like the face of a guy incarcerated in a federal facility?
We got video of him at Fort Dix reporting for work in the library, where he is making recommendations and handing out different movies and books for his fellow inmates.
I'm really fascinated just by the library
But
itself.
you're seeing him here. This is him reporting to work, taking off his jacket, taking off his scarf, and settling in for a day on the job.
It looks like a public school library.
Yeah.
It's
This was the chapel, and this is the media library in the chapel, which is where Diddy's currently working. He's working in a Life Connections program, which is an 18-month program that helps rehab people, get them closer to spirituality, to charity groups, and with that, it will shorten his sentence. But in this media library, he helps inmates with religious material, rent out movies, that kind of stuff. You see him pushing a
really
cart
interesting
with a TV on it.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the laundry room when he first got there.
Yeah,
this got to be
his first
This got to
assignment.
be a promotion.
Yeah.
It feels like a promotion. It feels like maybe he tried the lunchroom and put in a request for something different.
Yeah, it does
I mean,
believe
he is a
it does
media
sound like
mogul.
he used maybe possibly some connections to get a better job.
As soon as this video was revealed, 50 Cent began making fun of Diddy. And he claims that Diddy is grinning because he is in the center of attractive men, exactly where he wants to be.
The biggest troll in the rap game, man.
Oh my gosh,
it's
yes.
Diddy's birthday, November 4th.
Oh, yeah, man.
Today.
Yeah.
It's his birthday.
Yes.
And he happens to put up a post of him, and, you know, there were some pictures released of Diddy on the yard with a couple other prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy to see
Yeah.
prisoners, right?
Yeah. You know, he had Bad Boy East, Bad Boy West. That's Bad Boy Prison stuff.
But he put up a picture of those pictures, and he said he looked too happy to me with all them handsome men around. Good morning, New York City.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Dude, how does 50 get away with this?
I don't know.
Because we were talking about, man, 50 don't lose any brand deals. He don't lose any endorsements. He can walk in and sell TV shows.
Oh, yes.
You know, he can be in the boardroom and also be petty as hell, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Even when he sat down with us, he kind of explained a little bit about him and Diddy and the beef.
I haven't had issues with Puffy. I don't like him like that. Like, I don't like things that he would do and make me uncomfortable.
So we're speaking on Diddy. We're speaking on Puff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't have that thing where, we ain't had no thing. I wasn't sending nothing at him, big. If it was on the street side like that, we would be actively doing things to each other.
I still don't understand.
And we wasn't doing that.
I was still trying to figure out, you do a lot.
Yeah, he does a lot.
You do a lot.
And the uncomfortable part was when he was talking to the Breakfast Club.
Uh-oh.
And he was mentioning how Diddy wanted to take him shopping.
He said something fabulous, and he goes, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What is he talking about? That's the kind of stuff that when people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of dude, take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
Hey, dude, that sounds like something Mariano would say.
Yeah,
that's a nice gesture. Like, no, you don't.
Crazy.
You don't say I'm going to take you shopping.
What's crazy is not the first time any artist has said that about taking him shopping.
Really though?
Yeah, I've heard it from other artists who'd be like,
about Diddy taking him shopping?
Diddy saying take him.
No one despises Diddy more than 50. 50 continued to write letters to the court during Diddy's sentencing in an attempt to persuade him to give Diddy a life sentence. 50 discussed in his letter how dangerous Diddy really was, and how, should he be let to escape, he may pursue the victims.
50 is writing to the judge, all right? According to the letter, all right, 50 says, "Dear Judge, I've had an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He is very dangerous. Multiple times I have feared for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. There hasn't been enough time for him to reform or make any adjustments, despite his trying to teach a class in there. As you are already aware, the government has spent the maximum amount of money on deploying federal agencies, which appear to be an army, in 2 locations simultaneously. Later, his son, who's dealing with his own rape allegations, claimed that the feds had hit the wrong house. Anyway, Diddy's only going to return to hiring more male ex-workers and keeping most of the baby oil away from the general public. And babies need it. My Netflix doc on this scandalous subject is coming soon.
Over 100 civil lawsuits have been filed against Diddy. Diddy is going to have a difficult time if even one of them has sufficient evidence to support a criminal probe. The pattern of conduct becomes stronger when the others begin to fall apart and more victims are shown to be believable. As more witnesses come forward, what had seemed to be isolated accusations suddenly becomes a recorded history of coercion and abuse.
Just when we thought we were done hearing about Diddy, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department confirmed that they are investigating Diddy. And they confirmed that they are investigating a claim against Diddy of SA that came from Rihanna's former publicist, Jonathan Hay. Jonathan Hay also recently came out and confirmed that he is a John Doe who filed a lawsuit against Diddy earlier this year. Once you hear the details of why they're investigating Diddy, it's actually pretty crazy to know that the police believe that there is something here to actually investigate, because the claims against Diddy in this one do sound a little bit crazy. In 2020, Jonathan Hay entered into a recording contract with Biggie's son CJ Wallace. Jonathan co-produced Big Papa House Mix with CJ Wallace, Diddy, and other people from Frank White's team. During this collaboration is where these allegations from Jonathan Hay are coming from. Jonathan Hay claimed that he walked in on Diddy watching adult films and pleasuring himself, and then finishing on Biggie's t-shirt that was around at the time because they were getting ready to enter Biggie's clothing into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Jonathan Hay then claimed that Diddy looked at him threw the shirt at him and started laughing and said, "Rest in peace, Biggie." This is where CJ Wallace is going to come into play. Jonathan Hay alleges that CJ Wallace and Willie Mack lured him into a meeting where Diddy would allegedly SA him. Important to note that CJ Wallace did just sue Jonathan Hay earlier last week, claiming that all of the allegations that he made against him were false. He claimed that once he got to this meeting, Diddy was yelling and screaming and ordered everybody else to leave but Jonathan Hay to stay. And then Jonathan Hay would claim that Diddy tried to put it in his mouth. Now, Diddy has denied all of these allegations, saying that they're all false and they're all meritless, and he looks forward to fighting this in court. I will say it is very crazy that the Los Angeles Police Department have launched an investigation into these claims against Diddy to try to figure out what exactly happened.
However, winning a civil action is much more difficult than winning a criminal one. Diddy is unable to use the Fifth Amendment or conceal himself behind his attorney. He may be compelled to testify, turn over records, or personally address claims in a civil lawsuit. And that's precisely where strong people make mistakes, because once he's under oath, any response might be a trap that could permanently banish him.
Misty, I wonder what leverage and how this changes those civil claims, because he is facing a mountain of civil claims. It felt like they were coming fast and furious there after he got indicted on the federal charges, the criminal charges. Then the civil deluge of lawsuits started to come out. Does this change the calculation on the civil side at all? Does it help him? What do you think the effect might be?
So certainly, there were so many civil lawsuits, it was hard for us to even keep up. They were filed every single day. There's so many, and they all have different types of civil claims. The claims that were raised by Cassie Ventura, that case has been settled. That case would have been directly impacted by this verdict. Now, the civil standard is much less than a criminal standard, so the cases still go on, but certainly the fact that he is not guilty on many of these charges, that's going to be something the defense in those civil actions are going to raise. They're going to say that this pattern that a lot of these civil lawsuits allege, that there's a pattern of conduct. Well, look at this criminal case. There's been a determination. That being said, it's not binding on any of those. So those continue on.
And the standard is so different.
So much lower. So it's beyond a reasonable doubt in a criminal court, the highest standard under the law. In a civil court, it's what's called preponderance of the evidence, meaning if you believe he engaged in the conduct, 51%. So just over half, then he can be found liable. So it's liable, not guilty. And the result of that is civil damages, meaning money, not liberty, jail time, like a criminal case. But he's still got a lot of legal issues to face. I don't think those civil cases are going anywhere. They're going to move their way through the courts. They've been on pause. But interestingly enough, Laura, you don't have the same Fifth Amendment rights that you do in a criminal case.
The last straw is that Diddy is no longer in charge of the story. There are leaks of footage. The documentary 50 Cents will be released soon. Worst of all, those who saw the freak-off recordings are coming forward. Diddy even attempted, but was unsuccessful, to sue one of these witnesses for $100 million. This witness may now be included in a documentary on the 1950s, where he will divulge all of his information.
He said he saw Justin Bieber on this tape and he appeared to be underage during this time. He also saw Usher on these tapes and Usher definitely appeared to be underage. And this one gave me the chills because we've heard that Usher is the one that sent Justin Bieber to Diddy. Courtney Burgess sat down with the Too Strong channel here on YouTube and started naming some of the celebrities that he saw on these tapes.
Were kids involved in these parties that you can verify from looking at the tapes?
If Justin Bieber was older than he's supposed to have been, yes. If Usher was older, well, Usher was definitely young.
Okay.
You understand? His shoulder part was, the blood was all in his bed. You understand? It looked like they came home from a event, a party or something.
Went on to explain how Danny Boy was also in one of these videos with Mary J. Blige and Diddy together. And Danny Boy admitted when he was 15 that Mary J. Blige flew him out to New York and he slept with her while he was underage.
Mary J. Danny Boy.
Danny Boy, okay.
You know what Danny Boy is?
I heard that before. I don't, I've been so far away from hip hop, I forgot, but I have heard that name, Danny Boy.
Danny Boy back then, he looked like he was about 16. They both was about.
He also claimed that Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son, were in these videos, and he also said that there was photographs and videos of Diddy eating off of young girls.
Pictures or images of any of this stuff?
Yeah, I got Justin Bieber, Will Smith's son, whatever his name is. Other females on the table, they was young. He was eating off them. A lot of entertainments. And then I got calls from certain one to get the tape out of my hand. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
The worst thing that could happen at this point is that Jay-Z's name appears in that documentary next week. So he is keeping quiet, avoiding cameras, and keeping low. I would want to know whether you believe that Jay-Z is guilty by involvement or by association. Did he actively participate in Diddy's hidden world, or did he just turn a blind eye? Leave a comment with your ideas.